We're a lot. Yes.
Whoa. Okay, you start.
Okay. So we've been having breakfast for
most people have breakfast.
Thank you, and you can see what happens. Yes. Thank you. I wouldn't have, some people don't. We've been having breakfast in Cambridgeport for about 4 years together, often on a roof or often in our apartments. We're next to our neighbors. And we're going to share with you what has happened, or how to really learn to love your neighbor as yourself.
Well, to begin with, I'm so stage struck I can't think of anything bad to say about you, Mikey.
Which is wonderful. This is why I have him here. This has never happened before. I don't think it's going to last for 27 minutes, but I get a free critique of my life most mornings from Michael Ray.
The idea, Mikey, is that to convey.
You can look at there's your beloved wife is looking at you through that little camera in there. Yes.
Hi. Anyway, now you've made me forget my trend of thought.
Yes.
Okay. The idea of this, Mikey, is to convey to the audience out there, how our relationship has grown over the years. How we started out, very tempestuously, and how we've come to really like and even love each other.
Oh, that's it. Thank you for joining us. And keep again the people that love you that are in that little round camera.
Yes. Well. Oh, that camera. Yeah, I'm looking over there.
There.
Oh,
that's Muriel. Hi, Muriel.
Okay, so you, being as you're experienced at this and in bringing out this conversation, you can. I'm assuming that you're going to help me by starting this off. And
this is a rare moment, folks. During 4 years, this has never happened while we're having breakfast. But on TV, Michael is deferring to me. Yes. Asking for help, we could even say, yes.
You could say,
yes.
You could say that. It's pitiful. I've been reduced to this. Okay.
Yes. So tell us how this breakfast, from your perspective, began. I hardly remember myself. How did we start to? Oh, I remember. Now, I was living alone, and you sold your apartment downstairs in our condo building and moved upstairs, right?
That is correct.
And you also retired as a security guard and labor organizer for the Museum of Fine Arts.
That is correct.
Wow, I've never had two sentences where I've gotten such an affirmation from Michael Ray. And so you were now free and living on the same level as I, the top level of our condo building.
Yes, I had reached the upper level.
And since I was lonely, living alone, my sweetheart had left me at that time.
Well, I don't think she'd left you yet, because we, as I remember, I used to give you critiques of the relationship, which would piss you off. So I think she was with you for.
Oh, really? You can share with our audience if you remember one of the critiques, if your critique facility is coming back to you now.
No, I think I'll pass on that.
Wow.
In case the since can I mention names?
Yes, you can.
Since Barbara may be at this moment watching, and this I would not.
I thought you were critiquing me, not her. No. Me you can critique. But so anyway, when Barbara did leave me and I was alone and Michael had retired, it was I called him in the morning to have breakfast with him, right? And we started calling each other. And it was difficult at first.
Yeah.
You want to tell us why it was difficult from your perspective?
Well, I think we both felt, and I still do to a certain extent, that that Michael has great difficulty in taking in other people and listening to what I had to say, and that would upset me. That Michael could not, it seemed we had a great difficulty hearing what I had to say. But I also felt that he had a lot of people around him who, when he would, who didn't, who were unable to really relate to him from what I considered to be from a truthful dimension. So if I felt that he was coming on in a way that, that I felt was dishonest or whatever, I tell him.
Yes. Do you want to tell the crowd tell the audience what you thought of the many people that came to my parties? What you thought they were?
Well,
my students and friends.
Well, I could do that, but you, as I remember, you got so angry at me when I did that. You made me promise never to do that again. So since I've made that promise, I can't say that.
Then I won't go there then, unless you want me to.
Well, I've been impelled by by the force of your displeasure.
This is wonderful. He is so nice to me on television. We should do our breakfasts on television from now on. So Michael did think that did think that the people around me, I had many students and friends that.
Well, I've also, my wife, her final instructions to me when I left was to be my nice, sweet, and normal self.
Normal and nice and sweet somehow.
So having
having that let's give people less. Yes, no, I'm pushing this. Well, anyway, I think you were right what you said about me, that I did have trouble taking people in. It was, and you were really right that I was a teacher at the Cambridge Center for Adult Education, and I was most comfortable relating to people as my student. So I learned this with Michael over the years, because he kept protesting this, walking out angrily, slamming doors, saying, "I'm not coming back again," things like that. That eventually, even I got it. So that was a great gift.
So I'm waiting for you to do something now that I can comment on it.
Oh, I thought I was agreeing with you. See, agreeing is trouble keeping the conversation going. You want me to disagree?
Well, we could. Yeah, I mean that's I think one of the elements, of our relationship and our breakfast relation, which is actually a large part of our relationship, is that there is a large area of disagreement. The area of disagreement is tied together by I think we both have a feeling for the mysterious and mystical avenues of life, which keeps the disagreements, which makes the disagreements entertaining to both of us, because otherwise nobody would go through what we went through with each other, But now we entertain each other, our arguments and stuff.
Yes. But I actually told my therapist that I really find you entertaining now. She said, "Really?"
Well, what do you find entertaining about me?
I find that I can't, even now, at this moment, you were very unique. You're acting in a way I would not have predicted.
You mean nice?
Yeah, very nice, and a little, and quiet, and respectful.
Well, my wife's watching.
Yeah,
if I get home and I'm not nice, she'll say,
okay. But in the car, we were at a different.
No, it's true.
Yes.
But now that I realize that I'm up again, I fear my wife more than than my pleasure at being, what shall we say, somewhat a little on the disagreeable side.
Yes, so that will definitely make the program less interesting, but take our word for it, we're more interesting than this.
So anyway, let's get on some subject that we can disagree on. Let me get on one of the main things that we disagree on, or that we have trouble with, is that Michael has this way of being that if I make a generalization, he goes crazy. He goes bonkers. He will go bonkers. And and as if it's impossible for anybody to make a generalization.
We can give them an example right now. Give me one.
What?
A generalization, one of your...
Well, we were talking before the show about death, and according to Mikey, I couldn't make any statement about death unless it was my personal experience, and I replied to Mikey, well, every day I'm coming in contact as an old person with people who are also, who are on their way, who are either falling by the wayside, about to fall by the wayside, who are having trouble, and to me, and I'm saying this is a message to me which is my personal experience, but Mikey says,
I wanted an experience, a personal experience from Michael, which I thought would interest you also, of who he met that was dying and what exactly his response was to that. That would be a great gift to me if you could tell me that.
Well, to me, a very interesting. Okay, since we're getting on this subject, a very interesting thing to me now is and since anything is open, according to Mike, is that Mikey himself he has
been diagnosed. Let's not say I have anything, but been
diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I'm very interested in how Mikey takes in the fact that he has prostate cancer.
No, I'm not sure I have it. No, I was diagnosed with it.
With the diagnosis.
Yes, but I think I'm better myself. There's no proof of this, but this is my feeling. So just say that I have this diagnosis, but don't say I have it.
I will say, let me put it this way, that you have gone to doctors, you've had diagnosis, it has been impressed upon you in such a way that it has made you think of, it has made you think of your mortality and such. And I am interested in how, since we're talking about someone, then I'm interested in how you are relating to this situation that you have.
Well, I feel like crying now. It was a very amazing experience this week. I went to see, as you know, Dr. Peter Albertson near Hartford, Connecticut, who's a very articulate and published writer about prostate cancer and survival. And he told me, which surprised me and my woman friend Shelley, that I will probably, if I have this correctly, I haven't got all the notes, could expect at least 10 more years to live. And I thought I had read his article and thought it was just 2 to 4. And that was a little upsetting, actually, strangely. I was just like, oh my, I got this wrong. 2, I was kind of getting myself set for, getting all my writing together. And it was a little, instead of celebrating, I was a little shocked that I had got it wrong, and I still don't feel so celebratory. I was kind of, in part, looking forward to so horrible, but I was ready to die in not this year, but soon.
What does that mean to you? Ready? ready to die, what would that?
Oh, I had plans of fasting to death, which I talked it over with Shelley, who's a nurse, and she said that's a good idea. I have a friend of mine who died of Lou Gehrig's disease, where he naturally was eating almost just a tiny bit of food a day and decided he wanted to, at the end of his life, just stop eating. So he would, die at home. He died sleeping in his sleep next to his wife. He couldn't tell the insurance company then because it might be considered a suicide, even though, of course, it really wasn't. So he had fasted to death, and I like that idea. You and I are both religious people, and so fasting I thought would be a wonderful way to go. And I was thinking of having a party, inviting people, and so on, and then slowly dying. And all those plans are now not going to happen. And so I've been a little shocked. I haven't really. It's almost like, I'm going to live much longer. So that's what's. I haven't quite digested that yet.
Does that change? Does the fact that you're going to live longer, does that change the final fact of death for you at this moment?
Well, my woman friend, who's a nurse, is going to move in, this week.
That I know, yes.
And I thought, so I'm so lucky. I'm going to be dying and I'll have a loving nurse to be with me. And now, oh my, I might be with Shelley for a very long time. And I still love her, but I have to everything has to be what did they say at the Garmin? We're recalculating now. So I have to. It's really life that has given. It's funny, and I haven't said this to myself even, but somehow life seems to be that I'm living much longer than I thought. Instead of celebrating, I'm not celebrating.
I might mention for those of you who are, if there are any, younger people here, that for people who are like Michael and me, people of our age, that, some of us, which is like Michael and me, are very happy, more or less, with our old age. But on the other hand, we see people, when you're younger, you don't see it. When you're older, your friends start getting sick and more, they get cancer or some, and then they begin to die. And this is and for Michael, this is, I'm not sure, for me, this is again a personal experience. I take this personally, as a personal experience, and I think why I'm bringing this up is that this is something that becomes kind of a part of life for older people who see this happening all around them, and my take on it is that this is a wake up call for us to that this is going to be personally I happen up till now I have good health, but who knows how long that will last. When I see people like me all around, as I say, either getting sick, getting very sick, or dying. So that's the interesting thing of old age, which makes it gives it an edge, I would say. And anyway, I would like to hear your take on that, Mikey. Your personal take,
yes.
If you want it.
Well, I think I've never really allowed death of people close to me to affect me much. I think my mother's death. When my mother died, I was very close to my mother. She would come and at times even live in the apartment you're living in now. She would rent it. And when she died, I remember someone who's a coach and friend of mine and a movement teacher, and he wanted me to bang the chair with even a hammer or a pillow. And I said, that's not going to help me. I know it's not going to help me. And when he left, I took the hammer and put a glass bowl in a pot and banged it and crashed the glass, and somehow that helped me. And I felt better about my mother dying. I don't know what that means, but that is what happened.
I'm going to digress here.
Yes, please.
Mike,
yes.
Because the subject of this at the beginning was your and my relationship and how it progressed as we went along. And it seems to me that here, that I'm seeing a slight microcosm in that Mikey's and my interactions, such as these, gradually, we by having interactions like this, we gradually grew, very close to each other, little by little, by talking about things like this and sharing things like this, over, oftentimes it would, as Mikey said, I'd get, end up getting pissed at him or he'd get pissed at me. But I think that the fact of sharing things like this over a large period of time, had its effect on us.
Yes.
And the effect is that we grew very fond of each other.
Yes.
And
you taught me a lot. As you just said at the beginning of the show, you taught me that I didn't need to relate to people as a teacher. I could relate to people in a more equal way. But you fought for that for years, and I didn't admit it.
Well, and it was vice versa. I mean, even though you could, from my point of view, be obnoxious about this, you and personal experience thing, that there is something to that. On the other hand, that there is something about having, about talking about what you have actually experienced. I think you...
See, he just did it now. He said talking about what you actually experienced rather than I. We have, careful of the machinery, we have an agreement. Michael Ray and I have an agreement because I watered his plant.
He's going to gloat over this.
No. I watered his plants for 7 days. This is going to be recorded, which is good. And I enjoyed them. And you were right also, yet again. You said if you start watering them, you could either water them or you could have a relationship to them. And somewhat reluctantly, I started having a relationship with your plants, and I was really scared to tell you this, but I'm going to say it because it's coming up now, that I really feel that they're, in some ways, I'm their uncle. Yes,
how sweet.
No, but I was really scared.
Sweet.
I was scared to tell you this because then you'll feel freer to ask me to water them more when you need help, because I'm their uncle, and uncles have responsibility toward their niece and nephew.
And anyway, as a result of catching me in a weak time, which is that I needed somebody to water my plants, and he made me promise that I would have to listen to him if I said you, and he didn't think that it was...
You're talking about me, yeah.
You.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, that's good.
You.
Yes, that would be very nice.
That I couldn't walk out of the room, or
yes.
What were the other concomitants of that?
You couldn't tell me to not say that.
No,
you couldn't say I can't. Yeah, so that's all I asked for 7 days of water, and I got the bonus.
That's all he asked for the rest of my life.
Yes, a small price to pay.
Small. For the rest of my life, I have to listen to him, and I can't. I have to be very nice about it.
Well, no, you can complain, but you can't tell me to not do it.
No.
Yes. We only have, this is a warm-up for us, we only have another 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yes.
It doesn't end at 7:30?
7:27.
7:20. Oh.
Because other people have to come in, Michael.
Okay.
Because they start at 7:30. Lloyd is coming in. There's a great show live.
Did I do a good job, honey? Was I nice?
No, we didn't want you to be nice. No, I wanted you to be yourself. You're very nice. You're nicer when you're yourself. When you try to be nice, you've been very nice too. I am so touched that I have this nice experience of you for 20. It is very touching to me.
Well, anyway, I hope we have conveyed a little tiny bit of.
Look at look at the audience who loves you.
Well, I'm being yes. Yeah. Well, we don't know that anyway. I hope we have. Across the street they're watching. I hope we've conveyed a little tiny bit of this to those 1, 2, or 3 souls who may be watching here.
Oh, or more, maybe YouTube and the web, the whole. And we can say, as you said in the car, Michael, we love each other. Right? You said that.
I did.
That was a permanent record. Yes.
Yes, I said
so
it.
I hope you can take that. Yes, but so if you two have breakfast with neighbors who are difficult for 4 years, yes, you too can learn to love your neighbors. Yes.
Yes. You don't even have time to tell them how you got upset when I laid down what it meant to be a friend.
Oh yes, we can slip it in though. Michael thought that a friend meant that I had to call him every day when he was sick. And I said, if that's what you mean by friendship, I don't want to be your friend.
And he couldn't think on me when I left stuff in the hallway.
Oh, yes, you're saying that on television, yes.
Yes.
Stuff in the hallway. He thinks a friend shouldn't call the management company and say it's endangering our insurance. Thank you.